Hey, what's up? Hey, happy Saturday night. What's up? It's been a while since three of us got together for one of these live commentaries. I'm Cole, and there is Orc and Jay, and this has been the works for a while, ever since I saw that this movie Payback was available for me on Prime. It's a movie I remember really liking, but haven't seen in at least 15 years, so I mostly forget it. But I was just excited to watch it the last month or so. But I was like, no, hold off. It would be better to do a live commentary, do something on the channel. So we were able to coordinate so the three of us could be here now to do that. So, yeah, I don't have much to say as far as an introduction goes. It's just something for fun, really. Obviously, it's Mel Gibson back when he was, one of the biggest stars in the world. It's 1999. He's A-list. He's one of the first actors you would name. He was big as an actor. He was getting credibility as a director. Just a great time to be Mel Gibson. He's what people's sexiest man alive once or twice around this time. Pretty big deal. Did an episode of The Simpsons around this time. Might have been after this. Might have been in 2000. I didn't like that episode, but so great time for Mel Gibson. Chris Christopherson's in this, and I don't even remember that. Like I don't remember. All I really remember is that a young Lucy Liu's in this, which I think is great. And then I don't really know the other actors too well. Apparently, Bill Duke's in there somewhere as a cop, which is pretty cool. It's always good to have a Bill Duke appearance. He seems to pop up in movies that I like. So yeah, Payback. You guys haven't seen this in a long time either.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. That's been quite a while for
Yeah,
me.
yeah. It's been at least 15 years for me.
I
I
saw that
remember.
probably in '99 when it came out, not in the theaters when it hit VHS, and then probably in 2000, and I haven't seen it probably in a quarter century. So
Yeah, pretty close to that for me too. So I forget most of it. Like I know the general plot. Payback. It is kind of a revenge type thing. It's the guy who I think was left for dead. Now he's trying to get the money back that was stolen from him. I remember that's sort of one of the jokes in the movie. Is like it was $70,000. At one point, somebody offers him like more money, and he is like, "No, $70,000." For some reason, it's the principle of the thing. I might have known this at the time. I don't remember now, but apparently this is actually based on a novel called The Hunter. And then back in the late '60s, it was made into a movie called uh, Point Blank, which had Lee Marvin in the role. And I think for years I was aware of Point Blank and had no idea Payback was supposed to be like a remake or a different version of the same story. I don't know. Like I've never seen Point Blank all the way through, but I've seen scenes of it, and it doesn't seem very much. So I'm guessing there's quite a lot of differences. Maybe it's just the bare bones of the plot that are the same. Because I mean, it came out in '99. It's a very '90s movie. In its look and feel, as you might expect. But I think in good ways. We'll see how dated it feels when we get it going here. Oh, Maria Bello. I hope her cleavage makes an appearance. But don't remember her either. Just so much of this movie that I don't remember. I know $70,000 thing. I remember there's like some sort of Asian gang that Lucy Liu might be part of that he runs afoul of. I think he gets tortured and they like hit his toes with a hammer or something. And obviously there might be a couple shootouts and action scenes, but really I just don't remember. I think I just liked it because I liked his character. Mel Gibson's pretty good at playing likable characters back in the day. I don't know. So we'll see how it goes when we get going in another minute here. Not much else to say except that, yeah, when I mentioned it not too long ago, a couple people, including Jay, have mentioned that there is a director's cut, which is also called the alternate cut because it is quite different. Just looking it up, it has some changes to the plot. It changes one of the characters. It removes the narration voiceover that Mel Gibson's character Porter does, kind of like how Blade Runner director's cut does the same thing for the theatrical cut, which definitely is better in that case, but I don't know if it's the same here. I always thought Payback was supposed to be kind of a cheesy, schmaltzy type of movie, so I thought like having sort of a hard-boiled, noirish voiceover by the main character probably fit. So I don't know. So I think it might feel weird to me to watch it without it. But then again, like I said, I forget so much of it. Maybe I wouldn't miss it at all. But what we got here is just the ordinary original theatrical cut, the one we all are familiar with and saw. I don't know, down the line, I wouldn't mind, if you could. I'm trying to see here if, yeah, I don't have any information on like, let's see. Yeah, I don't have any information on like what releases it's had on like DVD or Blu-ray, but there must be one that includes the alternate cut or something. I guess something to look into. A little over a year ago, I was in Walmart in the dwindling, movies and TV section, and they had one of those DVDs that was like some big collection thing, and it was like specifically like a '90s movie collection. It was 20 movies from the '90s for like $20. So it's like a buck a movie, and it just had a bunch of like pretty well-known movies from the '90s on there. Not much of anything there that I cared too much about, but the very last movie, because they had them in chronological order, coming out in '99 was Payback, and I was like, should I buy this just so I can have Payback on a disc? But I didn't, because I was like, I hate having multiple movies on the same disc and that kind of shit. So I don't know, maybe at some point Payback will merit an individual purpose so I can find it online or something. But honestly, I've been buying too many movies lately. Showing you my most recent purchase. This came to be very expensive. It's the Hong Kong comedy, The Inspector Wears Skirts, which spawned a whole series. Stars the lovely Sibel, who you can also see up here. Cynthia Rothrock's in it, but she's not in most of the movie. She's in like the beginning and the end, and that's kind of how the movie works. Like there's some great Hong Kong action, martial arts stuff at the start and at the end, and the middle is just sort of a bizarre comedy in the vein of Police Academy. No, I'm not kidding. With a focus on the females, because it's about how Sibel, who's like this police captain, and she has to train a whole bunch of new female recruits for a special thing, and it's full of weird, dated 80s Hong Kong humor. It does not age well or translate well, but I don't know. I really do like it. This is the 88 version, 88 films release, which is nice. It's funny, I've always bought stuff with slipcover cases, and I like them, but they do like a much harder, more sturdy slipcase than I've ever had before, which is nice. I mean, this is beautiful work. I love that artwork. It's just great artwork showing all the actresses. But yeah. But they made three official sequels. And Sybil, who's in the first two. So while I paid a lot for this, I guess I'll be paying for those as they come too. But I did do the most recent thing on my channel before this was I did the unboxing of this. But I know my channel's been dead for a while, so nobody really noticed. But that's okay. But I talk a bit more about it there. But yeah. But anyway, that movie just wound up costing me a lot more than I was expecting to pay, and then I just sort of bit the bullet and did it anyway. But I was like, Jesus.
Yeah.
Well, are you almost a black belt in Muay Thai?
Well, they don't really do belts in Muay Thai, and the last time I was training, I was in. My school did kind of have some sort of almost belt system just so people could monitor things. I was basically like right in the middle. I was basically mid-level the last time I trained. Because the way the class was done was it was split into two classes, and I was about to graduate from the beginner class into the intermediate one, and then I just never went back, and then COVID happened, and yeah, so there's no point in bringing up my martial arts. I'm 40 and I'm out of shape, and I can't even do basic kicks anymore. So it doesn't matter what belt levels I achieved in the past. It's my muscle memory is mostly gone. So
I can barely walk up steps, man. You're doing fine.
I mean, yeah, I do hope to get back into a little bit of fighting shape. I was skating on the weekend, and I want to skate again soon.
Tony Hawk?
That was just torture. No, not Tony Hawk.
On a
that was just
skateboard?
torture.
On a board or roller skates?
I'm sorry. Sorry.
Rollerblades.
When I say skating, I mean on the ice, and I'm sure you guys know.
Oh, ice. Sorry, I didn't even.
I'm American. That flew right over my head, man.
When I say skating, I mean skating. It never occurs to me to think of any other kind of skating. So yeah. And my skates, I hadn't skated in a year, so they were really stiff. So like the first 10 minutes was just torture. It was just foot torture. My feet felt so bad. But after about 15 minutes of going around, they started to loosen up and feel better. But yeah, gotta get my legs going and my cardio back a bit. So might even go tomorrow, assuming I don't stay up too late tonight. But anyway, or no, I'm not very in shape. I need to try to make an effort to get back in a little bit of shape. And yeah, it would be nice to do some kicks and stuff again. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I was gonna say need to take a break from buying movies for a little while, because I've been buying them pretty steadily since the fall. Like at least once a month I was getting something, and a lot of them are fairly expensive. It's cool though. I'm glad I have them. I don't regret them or anything like that. And I got some stuff for Christmas, including the here's a Shout Factory. This is the volume 2 of the Jackie Chan set.
Oh man, I want that so bad.
Yeah, Volume 1 is worth having too, but this is, I say, clearly the better one. I still don't really like the choices. The main reason for me to buy this, it has 8 films, was to get Armor of God and Armor of God 2, Operation Condor. Those are really the selling points for me. Because besides that, I already own a couple of them anyway, including they have the first and third movie from the Lucky Stars trilogy, which is Winners and Sinners and Twinkle Twinkle Lucky Stars. And I already have that trilogy. So I didn't need those. And Crime Story is not very good. The Protector was like one of his first attempts to break into the market. That's good head movement, Orc. And City Hunter, I guess I'm glad to have it, but City Hunter's kind of stupid. Actually, Jay and I did a live commentary for it. It's a fun movie, so I guess I am glad to own it. At the time, I wish I'd said a bit more, particularly about Richard Norton, who he has the fight with at the end there. It's a movie that Jackie himself denounced and didn't like and didn't enjoy doing, but I don't know. So from the top, it's Winners and Sinners, Wheels on Meals, which is definitely worth owning for the Benny Urquidez fight, The Protector, Twinkle Twinkle Lucky Stars, Armor of God 2, Operation Condor, Crime Story, and City Hunter. So it takes you basically from 1983 to 1993. Obviously, there's movies that doesn't include them all. So I don't know. I'm not thrilled with Shout Factory's martial arts releases. I don't think they're very good. So, like, I got the Tiger Cage trilogy, and this is flimsy as hell and has very little on it, even though it still costs a lot. I'm glad to own the movies, but man, I don't think it's a very good release. But still, they're really fun movies. So I much prefer the UK releases of these things, like Arrow and Eureka and 88 Films. And as we said, luckily, the 88 Films, they do North American versions too. So I have 88 films that only play with my special player, and then I have ones like this that will play anywhere because they are Region A, as we are.
Yeah, I've been pleased with all the 88 film stuff I have. I have a few releases that they do good stuff.
I really want to get another Arrow because Arrow's great. They're just super pricey.
You mean the British Arrow or the Region A releases?
Well, Region A is what I get. But I mean, as far as I know, they're exactly the same, aren't they? Sometimes maybe the box art's different. That's one thing about the 88 films is the box art is a little different because I won't show it, but I have the Michelle Yeoh film Magnificent Warriors, and the UK cover and the American cover have different art, but I mean, they're both cool. So anyway, and I got I think that's the first one that I got of a Region A version of. So maybe does Arrow do that too? Does Arrow do different box art depending upon region of release? Like, I don't know.
I thought it was different releases altogether, but I could be wrong.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm thinking like some of the obviously they do all sorts of genres and they do some really good horror movies and stuff that I get, if I had the money. But like just speaking of like a martial arts stuff, like I thought they would look the same, but maybe not because I remember that eight diagram pole fighter was one. God, now I'm gonna blank on what other ones there are. The one I got that I really like and thought was worth it because it's actually two movies together. It's the two Angela Mal movies, Lady Whirlwind and Hapkido, which are both really fun movies. So I'm really happy with that. That's really the only Arrow I own so far, which felt worth the money because it was two movies. Because like an Arrow release over here is like $50 always. So that's why I haven't pulled the trigger on some of them. But yeah, I didn't know
Throw a punch, Cole.
I'm gonna be like big jab, it's like jab, cross, hook. Where be like jab, cross, hook, uppercut. It's hard. I mean, sitting down is not how you're supposed to punch. The only person who does this kind of fighting is Steven Seagal, who is the master of chair fighting from a sitting position. That's his own special.
Is this an actual block though? Is this a block like up here? Is that like a high kick block?
Those are blocks in like Taekwondo, but they're pretty fucking worthless.
Taekwondo is pretty fucking worthless.
You're like block,
because I mean,
and you go like this, and then he shin checks you, and you break your fucking ankle.
Yeah,
that's
all right.
Punch me like this. You like have a specific way that they have to punch it. No, you did it wrong. Come at me this way.
A lot of the blocks you learn.
Yeah.
And like karate are not very useful. They're more about form, right? It's more about form than actual practicality when it comes to those blocks. So yeah, I wouldn't trust a block you learned in Taekwondo or karate to really hold up. Yeah. Just like in karate, like karate is a really useful martial art, and you can fight with it. But like, I wouldn't suggest like, you're doing the right thing. Like in karate, you keep your hands low.
Yeah.
Like if you're in a street fight, I wouldn't suggest keeping your hands low unless like you
Come at me.
think your opponent just really sucks and you know they're not like a threat to you. Like maybe they're really slow or something. Then yeah, sure, keep your hands down. But I just mean if it's a fight with somebody or some aggressor and they look tough or they're bigger than you or something, like yeah, don't keep your hands down for Christ's sake.
When I'm on my hover
Just like
round, that's how I fight.
Just like I would love to learn, the famous martial art made famous by like Ip Man and stuff. Crap, I can't remember what that's called. What Ip Man does. So Wing Chun. Wing Chun is really cool, but I mean, it's also only really useful against like other Wing Chun practitioners. Like I love the Ip Man movies, but in the second movie, it's especially like unrealistic where he fights that British boxer. Because like I don't care if you're a master Wing Chun, you're not going to last 2 seconds with a powerful boxer using Wing Chun techniques because he'll just punch right through it.
Right.
But anyway, but I mean, the movies are what they are. They're not saying this is perfect or that. Just like even in the first one. He fights 10 karate guys at once, and of course, being Ip Man, he wins. And even like Wing Chun practitioners will say, the thing about Wing Chun is it's close quarters combat. That's where it's most useful. When there's not room to move around, you're close. You can do all sorts of good things with it. But if there's room to move around, somebody using karate or taekwondo will kill you because it's long range, and they'll just use high kicks and long kicks to take you out. So it's fun stuff. I mean, like I said, people like to point out like weaknesses or flaws and stuff. I mean, it's all different, and that's why we've got MMA now, which takes them and mixes them together and blah blah blah. But I mean, yeah, if you're learning something like Wing Chun, it's more about the form and the art form than necessarily learning self-defense. Although it does have some very good self-defense, like if somebody attacked you in close quarters. So they all have their uses. Like I don't know why anybody feels like they have to shit on one martial art or another. They all have their uses. Maybe not Krav Maga. I've never heard of any MMA fighter in history that has a Krav Maga background, but whatever. Which is funny because for years they were trying to...
The Israeli one?
Yeah, they were trying to sell it for years. It's like the Israeli special forces use it. I'm thinking maybe they should use something else because I've just never heard anything positive about it. But anyway, like I said, that's just me. I'm not saying I don't think it's right to like I said, criticize or shit on anything, especially since I don't know much about it. So maybe it's incredibly useful in certain situations.
Cool, I do Tai Chi.
I mean, Tai Chi's great. It's a soft martial art, but again, it's very good for getting in shape and things like that. But yeah, I mean, you can look up like YouTube videos of like people trying to actually use Tai Chi to defend themselves against like kickboxing, and it's not going to work. Keanu Reeves made that movie Man of Tai Chi with Tiger Chen to try to like use it in a more aggressive style, but again, it's not realistic. Tiger Chen's so underrated. I wish he got to do more stuff. But anyway, we're getting derailed with your block talk. We're not doing martial arts tonight. We're just going to do some good old 90s.
We're doing some I Hate Everybody in Hollywood.
Payback. Yeah. This is 1999. Everybody loves Mel Gibson in 1999.
Wasn't this
Holocaust was fake. Holocaust never.
You piece of shit.
So anyway, this movie starts with, I think, the Paramount symbol. Paramount's the mountain, isn't it? The mountain with the thing, yeah. So I've got it. It starts right there for 0. It's, the stars come to the mountain. So if people are ready, I'll do a countdown from 3, and we can all synchronize and get going and get into Payback and start to remember it, because I forget so much of it. So if people are ready, you guys more or less ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, hit play. I'm sure I'll have to turn my volume down as always.
Who owns Paramount, Cole? Who's the daddy company?
It's Paramount. Oh, who owns Paramount? I don't know. I don't keep track of that.
Viacom?
Viacom, yep. China #1.
Number 1.
Yeah. No, I was never good at keeping track of companies, especially companies that owned other companies. It's easier now because Disney owns most things. So you're just like, Disney, I assume, because they just buy everything these days. But
I don't think that's like a knock against your film knowledge and stuff, but so many dates and like actors and actresses and stuff like that and directors that it's just a little bit surprising to me.
I guess I find it more interesting. Like, yeah, I usually can't remember what studio owns the rights to
when
things.
You can't
like,
remember, just say Comcast.
Yeah, because I mean, like, what studio did like Back to the Future? Like, I have no idea. I don't remember. I've seen it a
Universal.
million times.
Was
It
it?
never. Yeah, it was because now you know what? I went on the Back to the Future ride at Universal
Oh.
Studios. But yeah, that doesn't click. That's kind of stuff I don't think is worth knowing. But I mean, sometimes it is. I don't know. It's like when I watch Jeopardy and they're doing categories, and they'll be like the U.S. Cabinet Department, and I'm just like, not worth knowing. I'll never learn it. I don't care. You know, I'll get every question wrong. To me, that's not knowledge worth having in my head. You know. So anyway, what we got here?
For me, it's like combo meals at McDonald's. Need to know all of them. So I would.
Get you a double Big Mac.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. These are too good at noise canceling because I couldn't hear anything or tell, so I have to take them off a little bit.
I've just got my.
But yeah, it obviously opens with Porter doing a because so they shot him and left him for dead. But he's gonna come to.
Now he needs payback.
What city is this supposed to be? Sometimes they make a point of not naming the city, so.
I don't know the skylines well enough.
Let's see if it says anything else there. Yeah, I think it's one of those movies where they make a point of like not saying what city it is. So it could just be sort of any U.S. city kind of thing.
You know, this director,
this was his debut.
Helgeland? Yeah, I'm not from. I mean, he hasn't really done a whole lot. I mean, he did this and then Knight's Tale and then The Order. Apparently, him and Heath Ledger hit it off. Which
I like A Knight's Tale a lot. That's another one I haven't seen in a long time, but it's just a goofy movie. He did the
Order's
script
not good.
For no, it's not. He wrote the script for Mystic River. Actually, he's more of a writer than director. He wrote L.A. Confidential. So he's more of a writer. He's written some big things.
Yeah, he wrote and directed that movie 42, like
Jackie Robinson.
Jackie Robinson.
Yeah. I didn't like that movie because it glossed over his time in Montreal. I was like, that was important. But, you know.
I haven't seen it. It's been on my list. I've heard it's good.
It is good. I just feel like is that the guy who died? Black Panther?
You may be right. I'm not sure.
Sorry for forgetting his name. You think I'd remember it?
So he wrote the screenplay for Nightmare on Elm Street 4.
Oh man, okay. I like that. So why not?
976 Evil.
So we talked about this before. We're already seeing. Oh, there's Lucy. Where she was going by Lucy Alexis Liu instead of just Lucy Liu.
Oh wow, that's funny. I didn't even remember.
But at this point, she hasn't. I don't even know she's done movies. Like at this point, she's been on Ally McBeal. That was like her thing. She was on Ally McBeal. I definitely don't know if she did a movie before this.
Doesn't flow as well as Lucy Liu.
Yeah. It's like how Jennifer Love Hewitt used to actually go by Love Hewitt when she was like a child actor. And then she realized that was ridiculous and went back. But we're already seeing something we talked about before. Like this movie came out in 1999 and it's so easy to tell because look how like drained of color it is.
I know.
It's like that Matrix effect. It's all shot like it works for something like the Matrix, but it doesn't have to be in everything. And I get it. They're trying for something drab, I guess, but I don't know. Mel Gibson himself said in the DVD extras he would have liked the movie to be in black and white. So I get it. It's a neo-noir movie. Noir always makes people think of black and white, even though it doesn't have to be. But really what they're doing here, the lighting, the coloring is just something that happened a lot from 1999 well into the 2000s. Just sort of a drained of color look.
And for anyone just joining us, this is streaming, at least in the U.S., on Prime.
Here too, that's how I got it. So yeah, watch it on Prime. So what's he been doing here? He's got himself a suit. Now he's getting some fancy watches.
The cool thing about Prime is it has this thing called X-ray.
And it'll show the actors.
Yeah, and in the scene, like the ones on the screen at the time. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it doesn't go for everything they have, but it does for a lot. But yeah, it is really useful. You can just hit up or whatever, and it'll show you who's in the scene.
Mhm.
Like right now, I know the pawnbroker is named. His name is Manu Topu.
Manu.
What's up, Manu? There, he pawns those watches so for money and to get himself a gun. Woke up this morning and I got myself a gun.
God, I've been watching so much Sopranos right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's like all I know about. I've never watched it.
That's a great show.
I mean, I figure it must be. I mean, a lot of people think it's one of the shows that like ushered in like the sort of the golden age of like
Mhm.
serious TV with like without the limits, like kind of the HBO stuff now. I mean, I'm not interested in it, but I'm sure it's good.
Yeah, that
Just like
song.
I'm sure that yeah, cool song.
I've actually never liked it, but it's always in my head because it's in every episode.
I never knew it outside the show. I only knew it because of the show. And it's a show I didn't even watch. There you go. Based on the novel The Hunter by Richard Stark. Richard Stark is not the author's real name, but it was his pen name. But speaking of Helgrand, or whatever his name is, Helgeland, he's still doing it.
Yeah.
He wrote and directed something that came out in 2023. So every few years he has something that he writes, and he's actually done more directing lately. So this was his directorial debut. No, Jamie's there. Hey, Jamie. Oh, and Jess. Sorry, I'm only just now looking at comments. I'm
What's up, guys?
usually kind of bad at seeing those things.
Yeah, I don't have comments pulled up on my end.
Just Jamie Jess says, I enjoyed Payback when it was first out. Not sure it holds up. Well, that's exactly what it is. Like I remember really liking it way back when, but I haven't seen it in 1,000 years, so maybe I don't know if I like it now or not.
Big goal.
Do you like coffee? Look at my Timmy's.
I was excited to watch it. Nice.
What you got there? A chai latte
Kick
for
in
you?
that door. Oh.
I have an espresso, mocha, frappuccino, latte, twist, McTwister, fucking thing.
That'll be $17 USD.
Yeah. See, I quit drinking coffee just like it wasn't on
Would you
purpose. But just
Would you like the tip?
when it started to get really complicated. I haven't stepped foot in a Starbucks. I've maybe set foot in a Starbucks like 3 times in my life, and once was to like drop off a resume. They did not call me back. Yeah, I don't even
Their
remember
loss.
her. I know she's. Yeah, I could have slung coffee for them really well. I'm sure. And isn't Starbucks the one where they like write people's names on the cup and yell out their names at them? I don't like that. Like my Wendy's started like kind of doing that. They'd be like, "What's your name?" I always give them different names. So you don't need to know my name, Wendy's. There's
My
nobody
name's
here.
Tony. I'm proud of you though, Cole, because I know we're doing a commentary right now, but you got the son of the Baconator. You got that. That makes me proud.
I did, and I mean, I do usually like it. I didn't like it this time.
You didn't like the son of the Baconator?
No, I mean, I do
Big
usually
boy.
like it. I just wasn't in the mood for it, I guess.
Full sized.
Did you get any nuggies or what?
No.
Didn't get any
This
nuggies?
is Deborah Kara Unger. I never do.
Oh.
The other thing that sucks about Wendy's, man, I finally find a sauce I like and they'll get rid of it. Like they had a really good sriracha sauce I liked a lot and they got rid of it.
What's funny is like I would get the 3 chicken things, and they have a sauce, and I would get ranch. Like a couple years ago, they switched the brand of the ranch to Heinz, and I thought, oh, I like Heinz. I'm gonna like this more, but I don't. Like it's not bad. I just like the old kind better, but I don't remember what brand it was.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it's just an ordinary son of Baconator combo. So it was the burger, fries, and a drink. And I couldn't even finish the burger. That's all I can do. I feel bad for people that like have to go into like a fast food place and order 3 or 4 things.
Oh yeah.
That's like a minimum for
costs a
me.
lot.
I'm a fat fuck.
Yeah, see, I feel like It must be upsetting for it to be so hard to get full.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, I'll take like 100 nuggets, fucking.
And you dump it in my gullet.
Yeah, just put all that shit in a fucking. I'll take 3 Cokes, large.
Oh, he's got a Marines tattoo. He was a Marine.
Yeah.
I mean, that's always important exposition, so we understand what a badass he is, since he's going to be so
He was
tough.
a Marine, mate.
Do they have those in Canada?
Semper Fi. Marines?
Yeah.
No, we had our own various things. I don't know what the hell they're called, but Marines are strictly American.
Cosmonauts.
Yeah, that's right. Canadian cosmonauts. I don't know. I have no idea what like special forces soldiers might be called in Canada. I've never bothered to find out. I know we have them because actually some of them have like special training that you can only get in Canada, because sometimes there's soldiers from the US and Britain that come to some place in Ontario for a special kind of training. So I don't know.
I know the
I don't know
best
what that
arm
is.
wrestler in the world is a like your Army's special forces type of guy. His name is Devin Larat, I think is what his name is. Yeah, something like that.
You know,
He's like 6'7" and he's got like huge biceps
Oh, man.
up there. Yeah.
man, I've never done needle drugs before and never will. They freak me out. But the idea of passing out with a needle in my arm is enough to make me not even want to do it, you know? That's fucked
Yeah,
up.
I mean, it's just amazing what people will do to themselves.
I know. Tell me
Like,
about
there's so
it.
many
Right?
things like that don't necessarily even like necessarily cause damage to you.
Right, Cole?
I don't know. I see people in porn sticking various things up their ass, and I'm like, I
Yeah,
guess you can
very
do
true.
that, but I would just rather not risk it, you know. But they're like, damn the risk. I gotta shove this up there,
You're gonna
you know.
blow my colon out right now.
Yeah. See, it's a weird mindset. Like, I understand like having like kinks and being into stuff, but I don't know. I don't like risking my own health for it. So maybe that's the other thing that kept me off any sort of hard drugs.
I'll tell you right now,
It's like,
bud. I want you to take this whole jar of maple syrup. And put it in
maple syrup should not be used as a lubricant.
God, you know somebody's done it too.
Oh, I'm sure.
Every crazy sexual thing you can imagine someone has done. More than once, probably. Like, well, you know,
You guys are having some chow mein, I think.
I just want to stick a cactus up.
What's going on here? This is that gang, right? He's watching some Asian gang.
No idea, but I'd love some Chinese food.
Love when you haven't seen a movie in a few decades and then it all comes back to you mentally. Like you're like, oh, this frame.
That usually happens for me, but so far, no. I don't remember this. I don't know who that guy is. I don't know what's going on.
He looks familiar.
He's just
the actor.
chowing down on some chow mein.
I always get Payback, Ransom, and Edge of Darkness. All like
he's Greg Henry?
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
Yeah. But yeah, so they're talking about some Asian crime family, the Chows, which obviously ties into the plot in some way. All kung fu motherfuckers.
Can you not just put your fucking food aside and finish your conversation for 2 minutes? Jesus. Just shoveling it in. Jesus, I hate
That's just like one of those like lazy character quirks that they'll give characters in movies. It's like, this character's not
Jay,
interesting.
don't fat shame.
So maybe
some of us have problems.
Well, they're just like, there's nothing interesting or notable about this character. Well, let's give him some kind of quirk.
Yeah.
That's Brad Pitt's quirk in Ocean's 11. He eats in every single scene.
Oh yeah. Haven't seen that.
I don't know why. I mean, he's not some nobody. He's Brad Pitt. He's a big star. But they're like, oh, this will be funny. Brad Pitt will be like always having something else. Okay, I remember this head-on thing. So yeah, he said they're not.
Then I won't. Oh, I'm crazy. I'm Mel Gibson.
Not Mel Gibson's first unorthodox traffic stop. Very brazenly attacking this gang. So they're going to start targeting him. Oh, because this guy's got a case with probably money. And he brought the
bootleg Gary Busey's about to have diarrhea from all that Chinese food.
So that's the same strung out girl as before. It's just a different character.
She looks better if that's her.
This guy's really going overboard, hitting the unconscious Asians. I think that's a hate crime, dude. Like,
That's
it's one thing to crash their car, but to wail on them while they're still unconscious, you got some issues. Yeah, he has a definite very Gary Busey look to him now with his hair going all crazy. Yeah, that's obviously the same
Guffed
woman.
Gary Busey.
She's clean up. Even in 1999, then you like Gary Busey and Mel Gibson was too much crazy to put in one movie. Even if by then Mel had more of a handle, a lid on his crazy that most people didn't know about.
Yeah. He was probably one of the top guys in Hollywood at this time.
Also, I think he's one of the biggest stars in the world in 1999. Absolutely.
Because I think Ransom came out maybe a year or two before this, and that was huge. I don't really care for it, but it was.
And then
I
Lethal
don't like it.
Weapon 4 was.
I think it's a really
was
bland, forgettable movie.
Was Lethal Weapon 4 in 99, 98, or 2000?
98. So this is after that. But yeah, that was another thing. Like, he was already big when Lethal Weapon had sort of faded out because, you know, there were a few years without a sequel. Then they brought it back in 98. I really like 4.
And then he was in one of my favorites of all time, The Patriot, 2000.
I don't like that movie.
I watched
You
that
don't
not
like
too
The
long ago.
Patriot?
No.
How? It's so well acted.
I mean, it's really complicated for me how I feel about
Oh my god.
historical movies, because some of them, like, I'm like, okay, it's fine that you're taking historical liberties. It all sort of depends upon certain contexts and stuff, and I hate the historical liberties they take in that movie. They make up so much shit. By the way, I think that's the first thing Heath Ledger did. He's like his son that gets killed.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, for one of them.
But yeah, no, I really don't like the movie. I think it really goes off the board with just making shit up, and yeah.
He was. I don't know.
It's a really bad portrayal of the British too. It makes the British look like they have no idea how to fight wars.
Fuck them!
It's kind of ridiculous, considering they
The
like
British
won
don't
all
know how
their
to fight wars, dude.
Even though they won all their wars like up till then.
And then they lost a bunch. Yeah, fuck yeah.
So...
True. But yeah. Oh, we have a betrayal here? Now that she's shooting at him. Yeah, I missed something.
She's all smacked out.
Yeah. Is Porter hit? Mel Gibson is Porter. That's all we need to know. So he planned to betray Mel Gibson and she was in on it?
Yeah, looks like it.
Yeah, just like we planned. Come on, he says, yeah. So,
man, my audio is perfectly synced with yours, because I don't even have it on, but it's matched up perfectly.
That's pretty cool. We never get that.
Yeah, so he was in, he did the Road Warrior trilogy or the Mad Max trilogy, and then, Lethal Weapon, of course. And he was huge after that. Like, Lethal Weapon, I think, is probably what did it for him. It was.
Oh, yeah. Definitely
Lethal Weapon 2, then Bird on a Wire, I remember being huge.
Goldie Hawn. Another
Not
really
a great
forgettable movie.
But
they used to throw on TV all the time. It was always on like TBS.
Yeah.
But he also, did he direct Hamlet? He was in a version of Hamlet in like 1990 where he played Hamlet. I don't know if he directed it though.
He didn't direct it.
Okay. I mean, the thing that put him into the stratosphere was obviously Braveheart.
Yeah, that's what really catapulted him. But I mean, he was huge before then.
Which is another movie that I can't like because of its historical inaccuracies. The historical inaccuracies in Braveheart drive me insane. So no, I don't like that movie either.
Is Forever Young, The Man Without a Face, Maverick.
I like Maverick a lot. Maverick's fun.
I do too.
You like Maverick? That's a fun movie.
And then Braveheart.
He's really likable in that too. It's another one where he plays just a really likable type of guy.
Ransom was
all
96.
Big movies, all successful.
What is it, Benny? The dog's about to attack the TV for some reason.
Oh, that's not good.
He does
I thought
that.
you got kind of like a
stupid.
got like a '90s goth guy. He's gonna beat up. Fuck you, Neo.
Huh.
Neo
Stick
would
your
realize
nose ring, Norman Reedus looking motherfucker.
Yeah. Go back to playing hackers. This is a thing that people like too, because this is in Face Off also, where like John Travolta, when he's actually the bad guy, when he's taken over by Castle Troy, I remember beats the shit out of Danny Masterson and like pulls his earrings out and stuff. It's like we like seeing middle-aged men beat up these punk '90s kids. Disrespect. Oh, he's coming up.
Look at this fat turd.
Big dog.
Big boy. You wanted some attention.
This is the smallest one.
Oh boy.
Wow. I really miss having dogs, but I just couldn't take care of them properly here.
His ears never stood up like they were supposed to. They're supposed to be up here.
Does he hear well?
No.
If he hears well, I guess that's all. No, he doesn't. He has hearing problems.
The only thing he does
Kill
well
the
is
pizza
fart.
guy.
He farts a lot. I mean, really. Let's see if I can squeeze a fart out of him.
Yeah. Oh, that's not great.
No. He's got him in there, though.
I believe you.
Stinks.
Arthur Stegman.
A babysitter I had in elementary school had those same dogs.
That's Freddie Rodriguez. I remember Freddie Rodriguez. Remember Freddie Rodriguez? That's him. He's the goth guy there.
Who is Freddie Rodriguez?
What else was he?
I don't know. He just I don't know. He's in early 2000s stuff. He's not like a main guy.
Familiar.
Yeah, because you've definitely seen him in things. What's funny is I think he might even be in a couple of Robert Rodriguez movies. Like, no relation. But he might. Maybe I'm wrong, though. I know I remember him. So he goes to a taxi place. Going right for it. Where is he?
DMX.
Get at me, dog.
Yeah, we know.
You'll have to try a different strategy. Oh, we're gonna do that thing where we jump past it. And he's gonna come through the door with him. Yeah, we didn't see it. We just see he's rubbing his head.
Yeah, man. Whatever filter they've got on the camera looks like shit.
I know. Everything's just like a dingy sort of tinted gray, blue. It does sort of fit, but yeah, I don't know.
Is that Kevin Pollak?
No, I don't think so.
Nope. Similar looking guy, though.
Bill Duke's
there's
there, though.
Bill
That's Bill
Duke,
Duke.
yeah.
That's Bill Duke in the glasses. The sad-faced black man. He always looks so sad. His lips are just like a permanent, like he's always frowning. He just looks sad in every movie he's ever been in. He just looks like the weight of the world just like got him down or something. I mean, scowling there, but I mean, like, I don't think he smiles in any of his movies.
He definitely doesn't smile in Predator.
Yeah. But people do smile in Predator. It's not like nobody does. The guy with the glasses smiles. Billy smiles because he's insane. Literally, like the actor that played him was crazy and they were all afraid of him.
Jesse Ventura.
Man, that's a huge pussy. Man, that's a huge pussy.
Predator is immortal.
He's in Mandy. The
that's right.
masterpiece that is Mandy.
Yeah, I'm like you. I was totally let down by Mandy.
I've seen it like 3 times. I think it's a piece of shit.
I'm a great.
It's one of those movies that on paper sounds like something I'd love, and then I watch it and I'm like, meh.
Never seen Mandy in my life. Never seen her.
You might
I don't
like
know.
it.
I mean, yeah, I mean,
My
It is
mom says I can't watch
stylistic
that
and
kind of shit.
what? What, you don't want to see Nick Cage screaming in his underwear? I'll give him that one scene where he starts screaming in his underwear about how his shirt got torn. Oh, I'll be like, okay, that's pretty good. That's some
Doesn't he
pretty
have
good
like a
crazy Nick
chainsaw in
Cage.
that movie at one point? Fuck
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
I mean, it's one of those movies where he has to go on like a quest and fight a bunch of badass guys, but they do it backwards. Like the enemies get easier as he goes. Like he takes out the most dangerous at the start, and then by the time at the end, like he's the end boss or the guy he has to kill at the end is nothing. Like I feel like they do it backwards. Like things should get harder, not easier. But it's like his first couple encounters that are harder when he fights that like fucked up drug gang that are all weird.
As they're
Then
saying,
after that,
kinda,
it's just like
I'll have to check it out.
Check it, dude.
just like then he just fights like normal mooks, and then he just fights like a cult leader guy that is like
Yeah, then
some
he
idiot
fights
rogue.
like a bunch of like guys that have suits made of Legos or some dumb shit. Like I don't know what the hell those. Just these weird,
I forget. I only did watch
stupid
it the one
things.
time because I didn't think it was
So
worth
dumb.
watching
I
again.
mean, it's very low budget, and I'll give it that. I mean, I guess I did okay with the budget, but it got a lot of praise. I think was unwarranted.
Yeah, it did. People thought it was like Nick Cage's best movie in years, but I mean, maybe it was. It's not like Nick Cage was doing high quality work around that time. Porter wants his money. Ooh, you're talking about yourself in the third person. You better not mess with him.
You won't like Porter when he's upset. Wait, you're Porter, right?
Hey, listen, don't tell Porter how to talk about Porter. Porter doesn't like that.
I hate that shit. I should start doing it though. It is very douchey.
It is. I mean, giving yourself a nickname is pretty douchey too. Like nicknames, the whole point is other people give it to you, whether you wanted them or not. Or maybe
Right.
it's earned. But you're just like, this is my name now. Like people just start calling me that. It's unearned and it's forced and it's stupid. And a lot of
Well, what
people
would
do
my
it.
nickname be? Make me a nickname.
They call me the Coke King.
Yeah.
I don't know. I grew up, all my friends and all my peer group, like every guy had a nickname. Like, and some of them were just as half-assed as ever. Like a guy, I wasn't really friends with him because he was 2 years older than me. Like his nickname was literally Bitch, and like he wasn't a bitch, and people actually liked him. But that was his nickname, and he just went with it. People just went with names. Like a lot of my friends called one of my friends Matthew Sweaty for no reason. I didn't call him that, but they all did. And he wasn't because he sweat a lot, even though sometimes it's jokes. Sometimes every once in a while we'd be like with girls or something. The girl would be like, so why do you call him Sweaty? And Gerard or somebody would be like, because he sweats so much. And he's like, no, it's not. It's like, well, what sense does it make then? Anyway, I don't know. The only reason I didn't have a nickname was because I had a last name that everybody loved, so everybody just called me that. There's Lucy Lou, I
Dark.
believe.
On your knees, bitch.
Yeah, there's Lucy Liu as Pearl. Mistress Pearl, you piece of shit. This is pretty good. Lucy Liu's a good actor. She just doesn't really get too many chances to do it. But I'm not like a huge Lucy Liu fan or anything, but she is good. She's pretty cool.
And what's
this
her
would have been, like-
ethnicity?
I think she's Chinese American, right?
Fuck yeah. China.
Don't do that.
What do you mean?
Number one.
I love China, dude. What are you talking about?
Oh, fuck are you?
Oh yeah. It's interesting because I think she has a bit of an accent in this, and obviously she just has an American accent.
Go find some fucking headphones. Sorry, guys. I don't know what's going on.
All right.
Oh, she's actually in a Hong Kong film. when she was young. She was in a Hong Kong film with Danny Lee and Aaron Kwok called Rhythm of Destiny from 1992. That's funny. I didn't know she ever did like a foreign movie before, but yeah. So before she did American movie, she did a Hong Kong movie. That's kind of cool. I'll have to seek that out.
I think the first thing I ever saw her in was Charlie's Angels.
That was definitely her first like major role because she's one
I
of the
guess she
main
did
three
that show
leads in that.
Elementary or something for a long time, but I never watched any of
Yeah,
it.
but that was I did. It wasn't bad, but that was way later. That was like 2010s, I think. It wasn't a bad show. I didn't watch all of it, but I watched some of it. I like mysteries and stuff. She in that one, she's Watson. In that one, Watson is a woman.
Ah.
The BBC one is the better one, but they were very different. The BBC one, like a lot of things, every episode of that was as long as a movie, like 90 minutes, so they didn't have that many episodes. Whereas Elementary was like a regular show. It had like six seasons of like at least 20 some episodes, maybe more. So they made a lot of episodes. But there are things I like about both shows, you know. There's just so many different versions of Sherlock Holmes. I think that's the most like played role in all of film and television is Sherlock Holmes. Like dozens of actors have played Sherlock Holmes in some version or other. He's like the most played fictional character. And people always love to compare them. So yeah, she was pretty good on that for what it was. I mean, like a lot of people, I think of her as Ren Ishii in Kill Bill.
She's great in that.
Yeah.
Yo, Jay, are those Turtle Beaches? Oh, Razor? Yeah.
You know it. I'm sponsored.
Sponsored fucking e-girl over here. Let me see your tits.
I show my twat on Twitch, guys. Go check it out.
Oh, Lord. Now they're just talking about, is it $70,000? Oh, he doesn't say. They're just talking about how they're going to have to kill Porter. Get Carter. Wait, it's not Get Carter. It's Payback. Porter. That's the type of names these guys always have in these movies. Carter. Porter.
Get Porter.
I mean, the Get Carter, didn't they do one with Stallone?
Yeah.
It's really bad.
Pretty terrible, yeah.
It's almost unwatchable.
I forget his daughter is someone that actually became a pretty big actress. Maybe
Stallone?
Yeah, Stallone's daughter in that movie. Fuck, let me look it up.
Oh, the one who played his daughter. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even remember. It's a really terrible movie. Yeah, there's a lot of these like sort of late 90s crime type movies, and most of them are actually pretty bad. I thought this was one of the better ones. Like, you ever see Ronin with De Niro? God, that movie's boring.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to like it, but again, I didn't have as many options as I do now.
It's a movie I really wanted to like because the story sounds interesting, but I don't know, just the execution's not good.
Yeah, and the title, it's just title alone, Ronin, has nothing to do with Ronin.
No. For a girl named Rosie.
Yeah, we've done Get Carter, haven't we? That was one of the ones we did.
My memories of this movie are mostly, we did the original Get Carter for our British crime series.
Yeah, okay, I thought so.
On the channel. The one with Michael Caine, which is very good. Yeah, I think most of my memories of this movie are from the second half. Because I don't recall hardly any of this. Just him showing up at various places threatening people, more or less. Dealing with various intermediaries, door guys, this guy at the bar.
Rachel Lee Cook was the daughter in Get Carter.
Oh! I can't believe I forgot that because I'm obsessed with her.
Mm-hmm.
She was one of my big crushes from back in the 90s into the 2000s.
She's probably my age.
Yeah,
Old
I think
bitch.
So. But not too long ago, when I was back in Sydney over Christmas, Josie and the Pussycats, the movie was on. I had to watch it just because it's not a good movie. I just really love her. That's her, Rosaria Dawson, and Tara Reid.
Wow. Yep, she's older than me, thankfully, by a whole year.
Yeah, I knew she was a few years older than me. I think I mentioned this on the Sausage Factory a million years ago and got laughed at, but like I fell in love with her very early when she was like maybe 13 or 14. And I was like 10 or 11 because she was in the Babysitters Club movie. She was Mary Ann. And I actually read those books back then. And I never cared about Mary Ann. I thought she was wimpy and emotional and annoying. But then after the movie, she was like my favorite character because I pictured her as Rachel Lee Cook. And then she did that amazing This Is Your Brain on Drugs commercial that like I found much too sexually stimulating.
Yeah.
Because I know she's only like 16 or 17, but I was a kid. Yeah.
Oh yeah, she did what? She's All That. You know, she was the ugly girl. Like, come on, just take your glasses off and let your hair down, dummy. But
yeah, with Freddie Prinze Jr.
But that was probably like her biggest movie.
It probably was, which is sad because. Oh, is that another one, or is that the same one?
Another one.
That's another one?
Another
one.
That's
not good. That's not good. I've been working this really tiny Pepsi since before we started. It's very small.
I'm down 10 pounds. You want to see the guns? The guns. Guns.
What is that, Benny?
Yes, I want 2 tickets to the gun show.
Benny, what is that?
What? You're only getting 1 ticket. Look at the gun.
Benny.
Bam.
Knock my stuff off.
Jay, look at my gun.
Oh shit.
Pythons.
Yeah.
What was it, 32-inch pythons? Or
he's knocking all my pop vinyls off.
32 millimeter.
Okay, this is a new character. This is Maria Bello. I always got Maria Bello mixed up with it's Monica Bellucci.
Yeah, they do look really similar.
It's not even that they look similar. It's just something about the names because I think this happens to other people too. I have things where I confuse people who aren't even similar. There's just something that stuck in my mind about them a long time ago, and that's just one example. I mean, I guess they do kind of look similar, but I think it had something more to do with the names because they were both MB.
Maria Bello. Was she the one in History of Violence? One of those two. The wife of
I think it's Maria Bello who's in History. I think it's her in History of Violence. Yeah, Strider's wife, Aragorn's wife.
That's a great movie.
Yeah, I saw that in theater. At the time, I was dimly aware that it was a graphic novel, but I'd never read it and didn't actually know what it was about. And I saw the movie, then I read the graphic novel, which is also really good. But yeah, it's a really good movie. But yeah, and since it's Cronenberg, like we talked about this, like it actually had some very kind of fairly graphic sex scenes in it. Like there's him and her like doing it on the stairs at one point.
Yeah.
She's in like a cheerleader outfit. You're like, wow, this is a lot more graphic than I was expecting things to go. Especially since I was watching it in theater.
Yeah, I knew that was coming. I was watching it with my in-laws, and I knew that.
Oh man,
he like fucks her on the stairs or something.
He fingers her first, which again is not something you see in many movies, right? Like they don't show that or even imply that in most movies, but he's doing that. So yeah, that's not the type of movie you want to watch with like in-laws or parents or something.
No, I knew it was coming, so I got up and left before and left my wife in there with them to watch it.
I would do the exact same thing.
She was not happy.
I'm on your side. I don't know. I would do the same thing.
I can just see a young Jay just being like, I gotta take a leak. I'll be right back. And you never come back.
I mean, you can say she wasn't happy, but how does it help her for you being there? Does that help? I don't see how that helps.
I guess she was just mad that I didn't suffer along with her.
I guess. Because it's not like you'd be some sort of buffer. You'd be like, well, yeah, that's my in-laws.
Because we used to do that a lot. Like her dad would buy, like, you know, whenever the new releases came out. So we were always watching like whatever action movie or, you know, big movie was out.
Look, it's Con Air.
What's funny is I don't really have that experience because, I mean, let's face it, most of the girls I dated, I didn't get as far as their parents most of the time. But when I did, like back when I was living with Am, the one time I watched a movie with her and her parents is they insisted we rent Borat, for Christ's sake. That wasn't fun.
That's funny.
I hadn't seen it, but I knew what it was, and I did not want to watch it, and I did not want to watch it with them. But that's what happened. They were visiting us.
Hope they weren't Jewish.
No.
Man, that bed frame or that bed headboard is awesome.
It is. It's like the Kraken. Yeah. She doesn't actually like him. She's just some sort of like dominatrix or something. But I think she has ties to the gang. I don't know. I can't remember. I haven't paid enough attention to know what's actually going on. I'm going to try to watch this part. Oh, no. She actually tries to protect him. She does seem to kind of... Oh, allow me. She wants to hit him. I don't know. I get it. She's kind of a weird, twisted bitch.
Hell yeah.
My type of
There we
girl.
go. Smack.
Yeah.
It's a nice outfit. Yeah. See, she likes earning him. Oh, he hit her back. That's not good. But yeah, that's really doing it from watching Lucy Liu kick the crap out of him.
Are you going to revisit this movie later, Cole?
I'm sure I will.
Fair.
Oh man, that was a very high kick.
Yeah, you were gone. I found out. Actually, her first movie was a Hong Kong movie, even though she's not from there. She was in a movie called something Rhythm. I already messed it up. In 1992, she was in Rhythm of Destiny with Danny Lee and Aaron Kwok, which is pretty cool. I don't know if you remember Danny Lee, but he was in tons of those awesome movies. Like he's the other cop besides Chow Yun Fat or whatever in Hard Boiled. And he's awesome.
Isn't that
I did Hard
the
Boiled
Donnie
on
Yen
here
movie?
by myself.
Isn't that the Donnie Yen movie, or is that something else?
No, Hard Boiled is a John Woo film with Danny Lee and Chow Yun Fat.
What was the one with Donnie Yen that you recommended for me?
I've recommended almost anything Donnie Yen's been in. I don't know. I'm trying to think of where he's like the lead.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. It's like, I mean, he's in a lot of movies like as a supporting guy. I mean, obviously he is the lead. It might have been Killzone, which is also called SPL.
That's a fun one.
I recommend that. Also, it's one of the most depressing endings you'll ever see.
Is that the one that takes place in Hong Kong?
I mean, a lot of them do, so it's hard to tell. I mean, I don't know. In that one, like, Sammo Hung is actually a bad guy, which almost never happens. Sammo Hung's like this crime boss, and Donnie Yen basically has to fight his way to him. And they have a fight at the end, and obviously it's not as good as it could be, because by then Sammo Hung's pretty old. So it's
which
not
one
that
is
great,
like
but
on
he has
the,
a really great like sword.
Is it like on the water? Like kind of like on these like where there's like these Flashpoint? Maybe that's what it was.
Oh yeah, you've seen Flashpoint though, haven't you?
Yeah. That's the one I was trying to remember.
Yeah, I love Flashpoint. That's just like 2 years after. That's the movie that really made me fall in love with Donnie Yen, because before that he was a name and I knew him, but I wasn't as into. I didn't know as much about the martial arts scene in those movies yet, so I didn't really know too much about him. I watched Flashpoint, in which he's got to be like 46 or 47 years old, and he's just fucking incredible. And then I was just like, yes, watch everything with Donnie Yen. But yeah, I love Flashpoint. But you like SPL too? It's a movie he did about 2 years before. I think it's the same. I think that's the same director. It's Wilson Yip.
It's just the letters SPL. Sorry, I'm lagging.
Sometimes it's SPL and sometimes it's Killzone, or you could say or put them both together, like write Killzone SPL or something. It's kind of a cheap-looking movie, but it's solid. But yeah, it has a brutally depressing ending that you do not see coming. But it's still a good time. It's weird because Donnie Yen doesn't seem like the main character at first. At first, it like focuses on this other guy, and it's only once you get really far into the movie that it's like Donnie Yen sort of becomes the main character. It's kind of weird how that shifts.
Yeah, speaking that, it's about to be my year of the dragon, year I was born, coming up here, Chinese New Year. We should do a martial arts film on February 10th.
Yeah, for sure. You're lucky. You're the dragon. You're the pig, man. I mean, I get it. I tell people that, and Chinese people are like, "Oh, that's lucky." I'm like, it's still pig, though. Yeah, dragon's the best.
I don't know. I think at least with the Chinese zodiac signs, at least it's like an animal and it's cool. And then like
I think they're
astrological
all supposed
signs
to.
here, they're just kind of like stupid. And I could use
Yeah,
harsher words, but yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm a
You're
Taurus.
Sagittarius. Oh my god.
I'm a Taurus. I'm the bull.
Let me figure out what I am.
Find out what
But yeah,
Chinese
you're the pig.
zodiac you are. You're gonna be a
You're the
tiger.
pig.
Monkey.
I know everybody's something cool. I'm not, but dragon is the best. Monkey, nice. But even the Chinese people say, "Well, dragon is the best." I think my mother's dragon. She's 52. I think that's dragon.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm like good looking, true, smart, true, strong, true, wise, true, loyal, true, savage, true.
Savage.
Jay, what's a monkey?
I don't know.
Yeah, I have not kept track of these characters and what they want. All I know is that these are all bad guys. That's all you really need to know. They have their own motivations and things regarding each other, but the important thing is they oppose Porter. They want to kill Porter. That's all that really matters. But yeah, I recommend pretty much anything Donnie Yen's in. And some of his best stuff is he's not the main character. It's kind of funny. Speaking of Tiger Cage, he's in the first two. And by the way, they call this the Tiger Cage trilogy. It's another like fake trilogy. It's not a trilogy. The first one's called Tiger Cage. The other two are completely unrelated and have completely different titles. They just gave them that title later. But he is in the first two, and he is the main character in the second one. I won't give away what happens with him in the first one, but it's kind of a bit surprising. But
Cole,
yeah, Tiger
can you
Cage 2
red
is
hot
really good.
can you red hot chili peppers that for me?
What does that mean?
Give it away, give it away, give it away now.
No, okay. Well, spoilers for the first Tiger Cage, but Donnie Yen's character actually gets killed like halfway through.
What I got you? What they give it to your mama?
When I gonna give it to your dada.
I'm starting to remember why I really like the movie.
John Glover was in there. He's always good.
Oh yeah,
Lionel Luthor.
Who's that? That sounds familiar.
I mean, that's from Smallville. He was Lionel Luthor.
I was gonna say, isn't that a DC character? Isn't that his dad or something?
Yeah.
Lex Luthor's dad? Yeah, fuck. I knew that for some reason.
The song has Jimi Hendrix.
I watched the first couple seasons of it.
Yo, Cole, have you watched that new show that had 5 episodes?
We're finally at a scene that I remember. I remember the scene.
What was the new show on Disney Plus that has 5 episodes?
Echo. No, I haven't watched Echo. I'm going to watch Echo. I will. I mean, she's mostly okay. Obviously, she's way better in the comic. I mean, I don't know why they just isn't it enough that she's deaf, but they also cast somebody that's like missing part of her leg. I was like, what? Like, I'm not against that. I just didn't see it coming. In the comics, Echo is deaf. She doesn't have any other disabilities. And I guess to make it more realistic in that her being deaf, she basically doesn't speak.
Are there any superheroes that have a disability where they're fat?
A disability where they're fat? What does that mean?
Like they're just fat so they can't do as much?
Yeah, there's a bunch of them.
Yeah, there are. They're not, obviously, they're not. Oh, I remember. Did I miss Hubba Hubba Hubba?
Oh, we got a butterfly knife.
Yeah. Wait. Here come the cops. Oh, did they pull up and she said Hubba 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 and I missed it? That's like one of the only things I remember. Maybe it happens later. Or maybe I looked away. I'd almost want to back it up, but we're in such good sync here.
Man, I wish I had a butterfly knife right now.
stabbed so many people.
Oh, I'd stab him.
But yeah, that's another thing I remember. The cops following him. Like, they don't try to help him. The cops are just amused. It's like, well, that gang almost killed him. Oh, well. We're not good cops. But yeah, so Bill Duke is actually a cop. He's a detective. Bill Duke is deceptively tall. Quite a bit taller than Mel Gibson. Hopefully Hubba Hubba Hubba's later. I seem to remember Guns being part of that. Yeah, 70 grand. I remember that very much. It was $70,000. Who's their audience? No, they've just been quiet.
This movie didn't do very well, did it?
No, it was. That's what was interesting, because like Mel Gibson was like at the height of his fame, and most of the stuff he was in did really well. This didn't. I don't know. I still like it. Like I know I'm missing part of it. I just like the tone. I guess I don't know. It's gritty. It doesn't like have like any like super memorable action in it. Really, it's more low key on the action, in a way more realistic, obviously. But
yeah,
I don't know. I still like it. And now we're finally getting to the parts I remember. The first half was kind of a blur. I didn't remember that stuff. We're getting into things where I'm starting to remember some of this stuff a little bit. So anybody watching or wanting to watch, we're coming up to 52 minutes and 30 seconds. So still about half a movie to go here, about halfway. But no, I don't think this did particularly well. Which is weird, because it's way better than something like Ransom, which I didn't think was very good.
I always got this confused with Paycheck, the Ben Affleck movie from a couple years ago. Ben Affleck? Yeah. Isn't that a John Woo movie? Isn't that one of John Woo's American movies? I think it is. That's right. I didn't even realize that was John Woo.
Yeah, he did a few sort of off-brand American movies, like Wind Talkers, and that. I think maybe just to try something a little different before he went back to China and made Red Cliff, which is amazing. Hello. Oh, in your hand. You're being very cute off camera.
So Cole, what made you name your cat after one of the best Street Fighter characters of all time?
I don't know. When we got her last year, December 17th of last year, not this, or just before last Christmas, we were doing the drive from Halifax to Sydney, and my parents had convinced me that I should at least look at some of the shelters, and we were looking online. And I'll skip past the long story, which they already know, so I was looking at some other cats. But anyway, so we were doing the drive back, and we were in Pictou, which is not quite midway. It's closer to Halifax than there. But anyway, so she was in the back seat with me in the carrier. And I don't know why, but I knew it was going to be a C name, is all I really knew. Something told me it was going to start with C. And then I just ran through all of them for like 45 minutes until like I narrowed it down to 2 or 3 and came out with Camille. And I'm sure
when you were narrowing the names down to Cammy, did you have a Pepsi or a Coke or a soda of your choice?
I mean, probably, because, or maybe I was about to, because actually where we named her was at another stop. We stopped at some place and picked up some stuff, which we usually don't even do, but we stopped at like some rest stop place with like a store, and I probably bought a pop then, maybe. I don't know.
Did you get some bags of milk?
Yeah.
No, you don't really get bags anymore. You used to get them when we got it delivered. I know that blew your mind too, but yeah, when Ryan and I were kids, we still had like a milkman that came and brought milk like once a week and left.
That's cool though.
I don't know when they phased that out, but I mean, at least when I was in elementary and stuff, they had it.
We had to get rid of them because they were getting everybody pregnant. Like they kept,
Exactly.
impregnating all the delivery stops.
Oh, Timothy.
But I mean, honestly, look, I mean, I had it narrowed down to some names, but it did occur to me. I'm like, if I call her Camille, she can also be called Cammy, and I liked that. So that was one of the determining factors, because I thought, yeah, she's Camille, but she could also be Cammy for short. You're grabbing the phone. I'm too afraid to move my camera because it'll fuck up, but she's grabbing.
That is a cool story. I will never forget.
But yeah, I was going through names. It was like, at one point, it was like Camilla or Celeste. Others. I can't think of any C names. There's one from Les Miserables that I always like, but it didn't quite work.
Did you ever think about Commando?
Not for her.
What about Kano? We're talking about Street Fighter.
I actually wasn't thinking about fighting. I actually wasn't thinking about fighting game characters.
Oh, damn.
I did. I could have called her like Mortal Kombat. Maybe I would have called her Jade. I always had an obsession with Jade. Mortal Kombat.
Yogurt Flame.
Yogurt Flame.
But yeah, it's true. I was more Street Fighter than Mortal Kombat. Always have been. At least as far as playing goes. I do enjoy Mortal Kombat like movies and media because they have a fun, ridiculous story. I think I probably said this way back when we did the Mortal Kombat one that we finally did. That original movie, they were going to have Jade in that movie, and they had to cut it for time, which is too bad. Like, she was going to have a fight with Katana, which would have been cool.
I know you want to get back to talking about Payback in a second, but yeah, I'm really excited to see what they're going to do with the next Mortal Kombat movie.
Yeah, I was disappointed in the first one, but I still want another one.
I like
if you guys have the time, play the story mode for the latest Mortal Kombat 1. It's really good.
Oh, I really do mean to get it. I just been pushed down. I like the idea that it's like an alternate retelling of the beginning, which is pretty cool.
I feel like fighting games like take time off of my life, so take like years off of my life when I play.
Yeah, they take it's like I don't adapt to fighting games as well as other games. It takes me a long time to get good at them, so I have to like really be in the mood to like get my ass kicked by the computer a lot, which I'm not usually in the mood for. So what's funny is I got the Street Fighter collection and I got it on the Switch like a year or two ago. And I played through various ones, and I was always interested to play the super rare because they made various versions of Street Fighter 2 way before, it took them forever to get to Street Fighter 3, but there was Street Fighter 2, there's Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition, there's Street Fighter 2 Turbo, and there was Super Street Fighter 2, which added those other 4 characters, including Cammy. But there was also, and it was only released for home consoles on the 3DO, Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, right? So I was like, I'm going to play that because I just want to play it. Even if you put the difficulty down at 1, it's ridiculously hard. I can beat like one person and then never get anywhere else. Like the difficulty on that is cranked. It's insane. I just kept throwing myself up against it and lowering the difficulty until it was as low as it would go, and it made no difference. I couldn't do anything. I just get completely overwhelmed by whoever the second fighter was. The first I would barely beat, and then the second would just kill me. So I actually haven't played any of those in a while, even though
I just remember like
my favorite Street Fighter is actually the Alpha games. My favorite Street Fighter is Street Fighter Alpha 2. That's the one I played in the arcade. That's the one I put quarters into and time into. And then got on PlayStation when it came out.
Yeah, I played Street Fighter 2 a lot at the arcade, and then it eventually came out on console, and they just kept putting out more. It's like, it's another fucking Street Fighter 2. Come on, man, let's make a new game.
Well, I mean, like I said, they made two Championship Edition. They did Turbo. They did Super. They did Super Turbo, and they might have even done another one. And then they did Alpha 1, 2, and 3, and then they did Super Street Fighter 3. So it's
I
kind
don't
of
think
funny.
I ever played Alphas at all. Is it just a version of Street Fighter 2?
No, they're prequels.
Ah.
So they only have a couple original characters from the original series, but there's a whole bunch of other characters, including a crossover with Final. Remember Final Fight?
Mm-hmm.
Guy and Cody, they're in there. Yeah, Guy is actually my best character. That's why that's one of the reasons I like the Alpha series, is because I'm good with Guy. He's fast.
Yeah, I love Final Fight. That's a fun game.
But yeah, all 3 Alphas are technically prequels. They come out before the second one, or even technically the first one, although nobody counts the first one because the first one is the ultimate example of early installment weirdness. given that you were only 6 characters. The only playable characters were Ken and Ryu, and like none of those characters. Oh, what's funny is one of the characters from the original that nobody remembers his name. He was a Muay Thai fighter called Adon. They brought him back, and he's in the Alpha series. He's like a student and rival of Sagat to be king of Muay Thai. It's funny, you know how like Sagat has like Tiger. It's like Tiger uppercut, Tiger blah blah Tiger. You know his is Jaguar, but whoever does the voice acting for him says Jagger. He's like Jagger kick, Jagger knee, Jagger.
Mick Jagger hip.
Mick Jagger lips.
Chop is a pillow.
Moves like Jagger.
Exactly.
What?
He's a really annoying character because he's fast.
What's your favorite beat 'em up to both of you guys?
Probably is the Final Fight series. But I mean, I've gotten an appreciation. I didn't play them growing up because I wasn't a Sega person, but I've gotten a real appreciation for Streets of Rage.
I like Streets of Rage.
I could do a whole video on like how influential Streets of Rage was. The things that inspired it and the things that inspired in turn is really fascinating because it's just a look I really love. It's really
Streets
great.
of Rage is up there. Probably my top 2 would be Turtles in Time and Maximum Carnage.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, Turtles in Time might be the most fun. And I played the shit out of it. Ryan owned it, and we just played it constantly. Yeah, I have that now because I've got the Ninja Turtles collection, another one on the Switch, which is fun to play for sure. Yeah,
I always
Jay,
liked,
you and I were supposed to become Switch friends like ages ago. I need to add you on Switch.
I haven't played Switch in forever. It just sits over there and collects dust.
I have 2 Switches now. I'm always adding games to it, even if I'm not playing it. It's like, this is on sale. Get it. I'm really bogged down right now in RPGs and stuff. And also since I got the Andronic for Christmas.
What is that?
So this is one of those little emulator things. This is Andronic. So it looks like a Game Boy. It's got the sticks here. There's various versions. This one is pretty powerful. I can play Dreamcast games on this.
Really? Wow, that's cool.
But I mean, again, like it's a very small screen, so it's not very good for certain like 3D games. So that's the other thing. This thing came loaded with like fighting games. Like every Street Fighter is on here, but it's not good to play on this sort of thing. So even though I like owning all these things, including like it's got like a whole Neo Geo section, so all those fighters, you know, like King of Fighters and Fatal Fury. I like having them, but they're not actually very fun to play on something like this. But I do like having them. Oh. But yeah, it came loaded with a ton of games, but also if you go to sites, you can get ROMs and put them on the little SD card. So I've been doing that. And the main thing I've been playing didn't come with it was the RPG Lunar Silver Star Story Complete. Because I'll just show you really quick. Lunar's story is pretty long. The original Lunar was called Lunar the Silver Star, and it came out for the Sega CD. So obviously I didn't know about it or play it. But then they made a remake about 7 years later for the PlayStation with updated graphics and a whole bunch of changes called Silver Star Story Complete. And that's what I rented, and I fell in love with it. I loved it so much. But again, one of those games that back in the day I have huge remorse about not buying because I should have bought it. It was expensive because it came with like a cloth map and extras and a CD soundtrack because music was a really big part of it. And I just thought too expensive at the time, which is ridiculous because now I would pay almost anything for it. But anyway, then in 2009, they did another remake called Silver Star Harmony, and that's for the PSP. And I was very happy to get it, and I liked it, and it's special. And it updates some of it, but also it shrinks the game down a little bit from Complete. Like there's less voice acting in it, and some of the areas are smaller, and the difficulty is less. So one of the things I sought out once I got this was I found a site that had, PlayStation ROMs, and I got Silver Star Story Complete. So that's why I've been playing almost nonstop on this. I'm just so happy because it's my first time in like more than 20 years playing this version. It just really makes me happy. But there's a lot of shit on here. Really good stuff. Not all of them work. I have like Saturn ROMs seem really wonky. Like about half of the ones I get either flat out don't work or don't work properly. But still, I am trying to use it to play Saturn games because I really like the Saturn. I really want to get like an actual Saturn. So it's really good for since this is a little screen with these things, it's not great for certain kinds of games, but it's really good for say an RPG or an old style beat 'em up. So yeah, I was playing Maximum Carnage on this, which is really hard. And what's weird is they don't have the Super Nintendo version of Separation Anxiety, but they had the Sega Genesis version of Separation Anxiety, which they seem to really cheap out on because like the music and graphics aren't very good compared to what I remember. It's interesting when you think about sometimes different versions of games on the Super Nintendo and the Genesis, because I was playing both versions of RoboCop versus Terminator, and they're the same game, but they are so different. It's weird. Like the Genesis is way more violent. It actually has blood, has way better music and sound and gameplay, but the story makes no sense, and there's not much cutscene stuff, and the bosses are stupid. And the Super Nintendo version, the sound effects and music aren't very good. There's no blood, of course, being a Nintendo game, and the controls are more stiff. But the story actually is more coherent, and it has more things to do with the tie-in Frank Miller comic from back in the day. So it's weird that how back then in the early 90s, I didn't realize how different they were from each other because I only played the Super Nintendo version at the time. I didn't know somebody with the Genesis version. So yeah, this has like 3,000 games on it. I deleted a ton of games off it to make space so I can add things to it, but I'll show you some of the stuff more later. It's really cool though. But yeah, it's called Anbernic, and they make a whole bunch of different handheld emulator type systems. There's more souped up ones than this. There's really powerful ones that are, shaped more like a Switch or something that could like emulate, this, like I said, this Dreamcast about as high as this will go. I don't think it could go GameCube or PS2, but it is fairly powerful. It is really fun. I really like it, and I got that for Christmas. Ryan had recommended it to me. He has one a little less powerful than this, and there was like a sale on their site in December or something, so I got it. It is really cool, but yeah, it is kind of frustrating that I own a lot of games that are really good in theory, but they're not exactly good to play on that.
Right.
But I still like having it. But yeah, pretty much every Super Nintendo game's on here. I was playing Contra 3, the Alien Wars. The problem with having so many games now is like I don't like doing this. I'd rather take a game and play through it. It's kind of like having too many books to read, and I don't finish any. I want to finish stuff again. I mean, I know I'll finish Silver Star Story because that's special. But so many of these games I've played, and I'm like, I forgot how hard this was, and I gave up. Like, I don't want to do that. I want to beat some games. But I don't know. I never beat Maximum Carnage back in the day, even though I tried so hard. I don't know. Right now, I can only get to the 3rd level. There's really no room for error in that game, man. Like, you take a couple hits early in the stage, you're going to definitely die when you fight the boss. It's hard. Anyway, we missed a lot of the movie here, but he's been taken up in front of the main bad guy now. I think they're going to torture him soon. He's doing some fighting, but it's not going to work. People, we are at an hour and 8 minutes, coming up to 30 seconds. Hour, 8 minutes, 30 seconds. I think it's the big boss guy. You can tell by his big desk. By the way, speaking of Chris Christopherson, has he been in this movie yet? Because I haven't fucking seen him.
Not that I'm aware of.
I mean, I know I've not paid attention to certain parts, but I think he would have shown up by now.
That guy's been in a ton of stuff.
Yeah, he's the big bad. Yeah, that's the whole thing. The guy gave him $130,000, but $70,000 of it was quarters. Is that William Devane? Possibly.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I can't tell from the picture there.
Yeah. It's like, who's going to give me my money? It's like, no one's going to give you money. That's the other thing. My headphones slipped on, and once again, I couldn't hear it. I mean, I can see the thing, but I hate not hearing. I need to hear. I can't watch a movie on mute. Oh, he's still looking for somebody higher up. So this guy's not the big bad? Interesting.
Yeah, that is William Devane.
There he is. There's Christopherson. I'm pretty sure that's his, yeah, he's Bronson. Yeah. So this far into the movie is his introduction. Over an hour in, he finally shows up. Hell, maybe he's the main bad guy.
I was Whistler.
The way they just did, the way they just did that scene transition seems to suggest he is the big bad.
He's got to get back on
There's Deacon Frost.
His body by Jake.
I mean, close enough.
his whatever stupid exercise equipment that is.
Uh-oh, I think Porter's going to go after your stupid son. Don't know the actor, though. Mark Van? Don't know. God.
It's Casper Van Dien.
Close enough. Oh, they're in the same building. Okay. Yeah, he says 103,000. He's like, no, it's, yeah, he does that a few times where he actually corrects them. They'll say like a larger amount of money. He's like, no, it's 70,000. So once again, he's a very principled guy. He just wants his what was owed to him. Fuck, I fucked this up. Hold on. No, not like that. Oh, I guess that's fine. I somehow shrank this a bit. I don't know how to make it bigger. I know how to make it big, but I didn't want to make it big. I guess it doesn't matter. I just don't know how I did this. Kat, you're insane. Cats love twist ties. She's just obsessed with twist ties. You dropped it. Oh, he killed the guy. Porter killed Carter.
I can't figure out what I know.
But I don't know what I clicked to. I don't know what I clicked to shrink this. It's not a big deal. Just as I'm seeing us, it's smaller now. And I've just got all this empty space. I mean, I can hit the thing here and make it take up the whole screen, but I don't want to do that. I just want to go back to what it was, but I'm not going to fuck with it. Just didn't think I clicked anything. That's fucking weird. I don't like being so small. There, I guess I'll do that. But now I can't see anything else. But it doesn't matter. Nobody's made any comments. I'm trying to watch them because I usually ignore them. And I thought I won't ignore them, but then everybody disappeared. Jess and Jamie said hi, but I guess they had other stuff going on. Is that one of the cops? Yep, those are the cops again. I can't remember what they're trying to do either. I guess they're trying to build some sort of case, so they don't have any reason to necessarily arrest him. They're probably using him, something like that. I don't know. But yeah, this is definitely one of those movies where they make a point of not saying what the city is. It's just supposed to be a nameless American city. You know, speaking of like Mel Gibson, like crime dramas, years ago, like not too many years ago, but you know, after the shit hits the fan for him, he did that movie Edge of Darkness.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's called. Yep. I would not recommend it. Super dull. I tried to watch it. Did not like it.
Edge of fucking Darkness. Saw it in the theaters on opening night.
Is that the revenge movie where like they kidnap his daughter or something?
No, I don't think so.
Or they kill his daughter, maybe. I don't know. He did a few of those like around that time.
There was one where like he couldn't remember some shit or something like that.
I really forget most of it. It's a very forgettable movie, but I don't think there's anything about a daughter. But I could be wrong. It's my memory. Like I just saw it once. It was like, moved on. Like that's from like what, maybe 2016 or something.
I'm gonna think what Blood Daughter or some shit. Blood.
Never heard of that.
He did a few of those around that time.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna look at his. Let me take a look at his filmography and see what year that was and what he was doing around that time.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what Edge of Darkness was about because I know I've seen it. Bloodfather.
Bloodfather?
That's what I was
thinking. I didn't even hear about that. Okay, so let's see. Edge of Darkness. Wow, that's a lot. Okay, that's a lot older than I thought. That's 2010.
Me too. So had he already called the Jews out? Had he already like had his big blow up?
I think he had, because wasn't his blow up like maybe like 2008 or something? Because you'll see from 2004 to 2010, he's not in any movies.
Yeah. He investigates the murder of his activist daughter. in Edge of Darkness.
Yeah, it's called Bloodfather. Never even heard of it. But I remember a lot of people were like, "Why is he in Daddy's Home?" Like, who cares? He was in a ton of shit in 2022, although it's probably like lower budget stuff. But he's in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 movies in 2022.
Wow.
What? The last thing he did that I was aware of was Fat Man in 2020. That weird Santa
I never saw it.
thing. I thought it was actually called Get the Fat Man. I mean, it looks kind of interesting. Like
Get the
Walton Goggins
Gringo.
is in it as like some sort of mercenary.
Get the Gringo.
There's a Fat Man because it's just like it's like he's Santa and some rich kid hires Walton Goggins to like kill Santa. Walton Goggins is like some badass mercenary. He's usually worth it.
Cool. I have
Now
a
he's
question.
hiding- Hmm?
All right. Why do you hate fat people?
What fat people am I hating on?
You dislike fat Americans.
I never said that. I might have said a lot of Americans are fat. I didn't say I dislike them.
Whoa, Jesus.
Well, everybody knows a lot of Americans are fat. Although what's funny is I think like by like what is it? If you go, I'm not by actual population, but by like percentage, isn't it like Australia maybe like highest in like obesity rates?
Australia and
Which sounds crazy.
Mexico. Australia and Mexico are really, really fat. Yeah.
Yeah, because it shows like our ignorance of a place like Australia. At least to me, because like my perception as like a Westerner, a North American of Australia is like they're really rugged, outdoorsy people. So they're really healthy. So they wouldn't have too many fat people
Wait
at
a
all.
second. We're
But-
doing a commentary,
but
but do you have Outback Steakhouse in Canada?
I don't think we do. I know what it is, but I don't think we do.
Oh, shit.
Bloomin' onion.
They have cheesy bacon fries.
I mean, yeah, it really does explain why Australians are fat if that's the way they eat. Yeah, I've seen commercials. Yeah,
I don't
they got
think
like massive. They got massive portions, which is very American. I mean, I don't mean to ring this bell over and over again, but my time in the U.S., I was always astonished by the portions, man. Like, it's good. Like, you don't want to get ripped off. You don't want to pay money for food and then to have them not give you enough. But man, always too much. Like, I was always blown away. Like, maybe ordinary restaurant stuff, but especially like just ordinary, fast food places. Just you get so much. It's crazy. I mean, we're a little like that. I mean, I think Europeans would find portions in Canada a bit big for them too, but not compared to what it is in the U.S.
I think the key to not having a lot of fat people is having a really shitty cuisine.
I guess that's
Just
true.
Make your food taste like shit, and your people won't be fat. Like Britain.
I don't know. A lot of people like Korean food, and Koreans are like right up there for like being really low as far as having like percentage of obese people. Like, also, I remember reading, and maybe I'm wrong, or maybe it's out of date, but I remember reading that like on average, penis size by country is smallest in South Korea. That's what I read.
Well, that explains my ethnicity. God damn it. Fuck.
Maybe it's even worse in North Korea, and that's why they're so angry. I don't know.
Oh, shit.
Okay, so yes, he used her to trap the sun. Okay, yeah. Doing a little honey trap there. She's like, I'm not making out with you anymore.
I was in Starship Troopers.
Is that really Casper Van Dien?
No. It looks like it.
Say, it does, yeah. I mean, like I said, when you were mentioning
white dude.
When you were mentioning Whistler, what's his Chris Christopherson as Whistler in Blade, I was like, yeah, he looks like Deacon Frost in Blade. I'm trying to remember what actor
James
that
Vanderbeek
is.
a little bit.
Shit. Who is that guy? A fucking child actor. He was in The Gate.
He was in The Gate? Oh man.
Brad Dourif? No.
Yeah, Brad. Yeah, it's Stephen Dorff.
Yeah.
Stephen Dorff. It's not like Dorif. I think it's Dorff, but yeah, Stephen Dorff. But we all know how much you like Blade. Or I like Blade. I think it's still pretty cool. I am looking forward to the new Blade, see what it's like.
I don't think it'll ever get made.
Why?
I don't know.
What's holding it up?
It just seems like they're really iffy on the movies lately, Marvel. Because nothing they do makes any money anymore, so they're like worried about all their upcoming stuff. I mean, Disney in general is just losing money hand over fist with their bullshit woke movies they keep putting out.
I mean, I do think the Marvel movies have definitely gotten worse in the last few years. That's for sure. I mean, I like Shang-Chi, but besides that, I was disappointed in most of them.
Like, what's another, animated movie we can make the character gay and black? Nothing? Well, that was a joke.
Okay, I remember this bit too. With the he's gonna like shoot a suitcase or something. He's playing Deal or No Deal. Deal or No? What was the one with the suitcases? I don't even remember. What
I think it was Deal or No Deal.
Was it Deal?
I never watched it, but
yeah, I never watched game show stuff. I can't believe how much that stuff still gets walked. Yeah, I know. And they were already in Maverick together.
Oh, okay.
Is he his dad in that? I think he's his dad.
I haven't seen that movie in so long.
It's a fun movie. Full of like double crosses and stuff. It's also one of the most feminine roles you'll see Jodie Foster in. Usually she's kind of like more of a masculine type in movies. She's actually quite feminine in Maverick.
How is she in True Detective?
I mean, very masculine and gruff, as you'd expect, which is fine. I mean, I don't know. I'm tomorrow night's the new one, so I'm gonna watch them again. It's definitely got my attention so far. None of the acting has really jumped out at me. Like, I don't really think any of the actors or her doing anything amazing. But like I said, it's just, it hits all the beats you'd expect for that. Like, the first episode is just full of, like, teasing things where it's like, what does that mean? Who's that? What is that going to be? Just full of bait like that, I guess. But, I mean, it's harder to keep track of than the other two detectives because there's a lot more characters. It's very much about the community they're in. There's a lot of people in it, and they all have various relationships with each other that's hard to keep track of. But no, it's pretty good so far. I mean, it's a very mysterious start. True Detective? No.
Yeah.
No.
I
don't really know the other actors. It's Jodie Foster and people that maybe TV people might know. But again,
that'll make hilarious when the Eskimos stop screaming.
Yes. I mean, it's got my attention. I've liked all the True Detectives to various degrees. Like, the first one's amazing. The second one is still something worth watching. The third one might be my least favorite, and I still think it's worth watching.
Yeah, I've just seen the pilot of the first season, and man, those tits. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, was that in the pilot? Wow.
Yeah, that's in the pilot.
That's in the pilot?
Yeah, I think so.
I didn't know that. Oh, well, there's tits too, like later on too.
Oh shit.
They're pretty impressive though.
Yeah, it's messed up too because it's like just a couple of years earlier he knew her when he like saved her when she was like an underage prostitute. And now he's banging her.
Oh man.
I remember when you were in pigtails.
Yeah. Good pillow talk there. Cops back waiting.
Oh, God.
Some cops waiting and watching banter, which you can also see in movies such as Grosse Pointe Blank, which I also did a live commentary for by myself.
And Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah, except in that though, the cops are like more main characters. In this, the cops are just sort of side characters observing from the things. I don't know. The new Beverly Hills Cop looks kind of cool, but what do I know? When's that supposed to come out?
July, I think. June or July.
It's Eddie, right?
Jesus Christ.
Eddie's going to be back as Axel.
Yeah.
That'll be cool. I mean, I'll watch it. I don't have a lot of faith in that new stuff these days, but I'll watch it.
I mean, me neither. But the preview is better than I was expecting. It looks good from the. I mean, take that for what it's worth. Sometimes previews are misleading,
But
or they just put all the good stuff in the preview. I thought the preview was pretty good, but
Coming to America, it really kind of
Really?
hurt me. It physically hurt me.
they made a new one.
The sequel,
Yeah, it's on Prime. It's fucking awful.
See, I don't have the knowledge you guys have. I never watched the original Coming to America.
You never
never
seen
watched-
that movie?
I never watched Trading Places.
Oh yeah,
Never watched that.
Those are both
Seen
great.
The Golden Child.
You never
Never
seen The
watched
Golden
that.
Child?
No.
You'd really dig it.
I haven't seen a
Yeah.
bunch of his famous movies.
you got to watch Coming
Most
to America.
recently, I did watch one. I think maybe his first movie, which is quite a good movie, because I like Walter Hill, which is 48 Hours, which really is the movie that gave birth to the buddy cop genre.
Mm-hmm.
That's really the first one. That's 82. And it's actually more complicated and nuanced than most movies later would come on. Like, that movie tackles race, like, head on.
What is that? Nick Nolte
Yeah.
in that?
Yeah.
Nick Nolte is
Nolte.
his partner.
Who's not an actor I really like, but that's a
Another
good movie.
48 Hours is pretty decent too. Have you seen that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw that with my dad. We had like a free preview for like Showtime or HBO one weekend, and we watched another 48 Hours. It was awesome.
And speaking of the crazy guy from Predator that everyone was afraid of, he's also in 48 Hours.
Sonny Landham.
Yeah, funny. Oh, look, there's
Guys.
the door guy that he hit before. He's back. Let him go. Okay, things are going to really escalate from here on. Things are going to pick up. And get... Oh, here we go. Hubba. Yeah, that's the movie right there. Boom, boom, boom. That's on all the previews and stuff. They blast it away. Now it's getting good. It's a very thorough drive-by.
Yeah, that's a more of a drive and stop.
Drive and stop. And... Oh, he got behind them. That's a good shot. I like that. Yeah, it's very John Woo right there. The next shot, him behind him with two pistols. I like it. But the driver's still alive. Boxes. Oh, shit.
God, that guy's been in like every movie, like every martial arts movie ever. The driver.
Oh, yeah? Probably.
Yeah.
Speaking of like Asian guys that are in like everything, like speaking of Mel Gibson, in the first Lethal Weapon, remember the guy that tortures him in Lethal Weapon? There's an Asian guy that's torturing Mel Gibson in Lethal Weapon. You know, he's hanging from the ceiling and he's shocking him.
Oh yeah.
He's in like everything as a henchman. He's like a henchman in every single action movie in the late 80s into the 90s. Like that's his
Wasn't he
entire
the same
career.
guy in Die Hard?
Yeah, he was part of the Die Hard group too.
Yeah, that I always
His little
forget his
his
name.
brother Harris.
But yeah. That guy's
Yeah.
in literally everything.
I'm gonna go with Lee.
I love the Die Hard terrorists.
I'm gonna go with the
because
last
they're
name
like-
Lee on that one.
There's like 9 or 10 like German or Eastern European hardcore mercenaries, but then there's a guy that looks like Huey Lewis for some reason and dresses like a game show host. There's a black nerd guy who's like their hacker, and then there's the Asian guy. It's like, how do these guys all come together exactly?
Yeah,
They each have a
It's-
special set of skills.
exactly.
Yeah. He did that badass thing, and then these guys caught him. Oh, God, she's hot. Yeah, we know you like pain and violence. And here's another torture scene from. This is where they like take a hammer to his toes, I believe. See, this is what I remember best, like the final act of the movie. I guess it is a little slow getting there, but I don't mind it. We talked over, but there's some pretty decent dialogue in some of these scenes and some quips. Like it's not like laugh out loud funny or anything, but it's pretty decent writing.
They better settle down, or she's gonna slide out of that car seat.
I probably am going to watch this again later on my own just to take it in because I do like it. Uh-oh, the big man's here. He still has his son hidden away somewhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is, I guess, the only reason why they won't kill him. Because he's... Yeah, I don't want 130,000. I want 70,000.
That's too much.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh, see, even if you tell me where he is, I'll kill you. Ooh, only he could give a line like that.
Al Leong was that guy's name from Die Hard and
Yeah.
Lethal
He's
Weapon.
in quite a few movies as like a henchman, bad guy mook.
He
Usually
was
without any lines.
he was Genghis Khan in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Okay, now he's a legend then. That's amazing.
Big Trouble, Little China.
Yeah, Big Trouble, Little China. Should do a
Is he
commentary
still
of that.
alive?
I would never shut up. It has so many like kung fu and wuxia references that I would never shut up.
Yep, still alive. Looks
You
like.
see the new Bill and Ted? Speaking of new shit,
No,
yeah, it doesn't
I
look very
can't.
appealing.
I
to me.
can't do that.
Like they're in their 50s. I don't know, man.
I can't. I can't do that.
Bill and Ted face the music.
I mean, of all the times they try to do that, like a
Oh, he's like,
30-year-old,
"Go ahead."
40-year-old property, like how often is it good? I mean, like what, 3% of the time? I mean,
It's pretty low. Yeah, there go the toes. But he's like, bring it on. It's one thing to say bring it on. It's another thing to have them do it to one of your toes and then say keep going. Like, fuck.
gonna make Lucy Liu bust over here.
Hmm.
Oh, fuck. Like, they don't even show it, but you feel it. Fuck. The one thing I will say about torture scenes in movies like this is the bad guys always do something that's not permanent. I have no training, and obviously if someone's going to torture me, I'd tell them anything they wanted so they didn't torture me. But I just mean, even if I was in a training situation or something like that, like, whether you're watching, like, one of these movies or James Bond, what happened to him in Casino Royale, or what happens to Snake in the Metal Gear games, like, it's always something that they can actually recover from. Like, why do that? They could just be like, I can just start chopping off your fingers. And I'd be like, okay, fine. I don't want to lose fingers. Even if that doesn't hurt as much as the torture. I don't want to be permanently, I don't want a permanent injury. I mean, to be fair, they were going to make the boss cut out Snake's eyes in Metal Gear Solid 3. And then that winds up getting interrupted. And then he still loses an eye when the revolver goes off in his face. But so they were actually finally going to try to do something permanent in that, and then it didn't happen. Because the whole thing is, if they did take his eyes out, mission over.
Dude, this guy should do a documentary. That
I know, he's been everywhere.
I mean, he was. I mean, even back in the 80s, he was in a ton of television, like Knight Rider, Magnum PI, Equalizer, Hunter, Airwolf.
Goddamn legend.
But I mean, and then when he starts doing movies, I mean, it's everything.
If it has a gang of bad guys in it, he's in there.
Action Jackson, episode of MacGyver, Die Hard, They Live, Bill and Ted, Black Rain, which is a great movie.
I know. I think of all the times I've seen him over the years and not registered it.
Death Warrant.
Yeah, Black Rain's pretty cool.
Perfect Weapon.
Death Warrant. That's Jean-Claude Van Damme. Death Warrant. He plays a Canadian in that, I believe.
Really?
It's not that relevant to the plot, but yeah.
Does that explain the accent?
Yeah, I mean that's the kind of how they do sometimes. It's like, oh, he's Quebecois. And I know I've said this a million times. I'll say it again. Like the biggest not disappointment for me, but the biggest movie on paper I should love that I don't is definitely Hard Target, because it's made when both John Woo and him were like both in smack in their prime. It's not like they did it 15 years later or something like that, and it's not bad. It's just it could be so much better. I almost feel like they should do a remake of it. Like I wouldn't mind.
He's Cajun. That's why he sounds all stupid.
Like. I know. Cajuns don't sound like that. But most people don't care,
Yeah. I mean, I can suspend that disbelief, Hell, I can do it with Schwarzenegger.
Sure. Think of all the movies. Think of all the movies with Schwarzenegger, where he's just an average American dude with like his strong Austrian accent. That's just the Schwarzenegger effect, right? We're so used to him that we just accept him in any situation. Like nobody even it's not even referenced in any of his movies, right? Like even comedies, you never have anybody pointing out his accent or making fun of it. Like it's just, that's Bill.
Yeah, that's Bill. That's Bill John Q. American.
I mean, you watch like fucking Jingle All the Way. You
Yeah.
think, oh, that's some comedic gold. You could have Phil Hartman like make fun of his accent or do an impression, because you know Phil Hartman did good impressions back in the day. You know, before his fucking wife shot him in the face. But you know, like not even brought up in the movie.
Or Kindergarten Cop.
It's not a tumor.
Like,
and there's a Family Guy joke about that, where it's just like, imagine he didn't have it. It's just like the kid's like, it could be a tumor, and he just says, it's not a tumor. It's like, it's not funny. It's not funny without, you know, him screaming.
Who is your daddy? What does he do?
I used to watch that like 20 years ago. Those like prank calls where they had like the various lines of his. They'd call people up and speak to them with his lines, and that was one they used a lot. Who is your daddy, and what does he do? They'd be like, sir, what do you need? He's like, I'm a cop, you idiot. I'm Detective John Kimball. I'm going to take my fist and ram it into your stomach.
Those are still funny. I mean, those old prank calls.
You're tired.
Ba, ba, da, ba.
Super.
I kind of missed how he escaped.
I don't give a fuck.
Like tied up in a
super
trunk. I got hammered. Good.
If you call this number one more time.
Oh, do you have the 70,000? Hooray, 70,000. Remember at the end, and I missed how he actually escaped at the end. Or I think it's the end. Yeah, we're pretty much at the end. Did anybody see how he actually escaped there?
I was talking over it all.
Yeah. Oh, coming back to our narration. We're at the end here, though, people. In Canada. Breakfast in Canada. Yeah, it's pretty classy.
So if they're going to Canada, they must be close,
stop
right?
shooting people. Okay.
It must be somewhere near the border.
Yeah. Maybe it's like Detroit. Detroit's really close. Or Buffalo. I don't know what the fuck Buffalo looks like. But there you go. There's the movie. Yeah. I'm going to watch it again on my own because I really do like him. We talked and missed a lot of stuff. But it was just fun to get on here.
I've never liked it very much. I didn't like the alternate cut either. Yeah.
I like it. Mostly for Lucy Liu. But I actually like his character in it, like we talked over. I like his character. I like his tough guy character. You know, I know it's a cliche. It's in so many movies, a tough guy character and doing a voiceover. I think it's one of the good ones, though. I enjoy it.
Hell of a cast, though.
Yeah, more name people than I remembered, too. Again, another thing I remember was I was like, he's in it, Lucy Liu's in it, and I don't remember anything else.
Yeah.
And, yeah. But yeah, the movie didn't do that well, but I like it. I'm going to watch it again on my own, too.
Scuffed Gary Busey and scuffed Casper Van Dien and
bunch of scuffed motherfuckers.
Yeah, I was going to say, we had some poor man's versions of some better known actors in it, too. Because, yeah, I don't think this movie had much of a budget or anything like that. But I don't know. It's in my top 5 Mel Gibson movies, probably.
My top 5.
Three of which are probably like Lethal Weapon movies. But if I only count one Lethal Weapon movie, I don't know, because I mean, my favorite one of his movies is before he was a star, and that's The Road Warrior, where he's actually like an Australian guy. That's probably my favorite Mel Gibson movie, is The Road Warrior, which is the second.
Gotta be The Patriot or Braveheart, man, all day.
Oh man, Road Warrior.
I think those are both. I think those are so overrated and not good, especially The Patriot.
I don't know. Man. I'm a big fan of Mel. I don't know what my favorite movie would be. Probably would be Road Warrior.
I like when he made those phone calls. That was my favorite part. Yeah. That was really cool.
Those are great.
You stupid bitch.
Yeah, I used to get quote a lot of those. I can't remember. I'm getting confused with Alec Baldwin's calling his.
I've never seen Tequila Sunrise. Do you see that one, Jay? Tequila Sunrise?
Yep, I've seen it. I don't remember it though.
That's big. It's 88. It's got Michelle Pfeiffer and Kurt Russell.
Yeah, Kurt Russell's who I remember in that more than him.
Yeah. I've always heard of it. It also has Raul Julia, speaking of Street Fighter.
R.I.P.
Yeah. He put everything into that role. That movie is god-awful, but he is amazing. And then he died, poor bastard.
Yeah, wasn't he like on his deathbed too when he made it?
Yeah, he was very much dying. Like, he knew he was going to die. And, like, he picked that movie because he's like, I think my kids will like it or something. And
City of
that movie is
Chicago.
a train wreck. It's a piece of shit, but he puts everything into it. Yeah, so shot in Chicago. I guess didn't look like Chicago to me, but then again, I've never been there. I only can go by stuff I've seen in movies and stuff. So. Chicago. Chicago's not super far from the Canadian border, I suppose. So that's Payback, which I'm going to watch again on my own so I remember stuff. But
Kind of far to go and get breakfast, though. Maybe they're going to like a 24-hour Denny's.
Just skip it.
So what are we going to do? Get the Gringo next?
That's what pops up for me.
The package, whatever the hell that is.
It's funny is I got Raw Deal on here, which is an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie that I never watched.
I've never seen Raw Deal either. It's just have Arnold Schwarzenegger marathon. No.
Is that the one where he pulls the guy's leg off and it's full of cocaine? He's like, cocaine, yeah.
I don't know, but speaking of Arnold, one of his movies did show up, I think, on my Netflix, and I do want us to watch it, and that's The Running Man. I want us to do The Running Man. Because that movie is ridiculous and fun.
I've never seen The Running Man. No.
You've never seen it? Oh,
yes, you have.
You would like The Running Man. It's
not.
So stupid. It's technically based on one of Stephen King's Richard Bachman books, but
if it's not a slasher, if it's not a slasher from the 1980s, I haven't fucking seen it, man.
It's an Arnold movie from the 80s.
I don't, Jay. I don't have the space.
Yeah,
I'm fucking mentally challenged.
Well, yeah, I mean, that could even be the next one we do if you guys can find it, because I think that's on Netflix for me. And I really want to watch that one too. That's a super fun movie.
That is a fun one.
It's nothing like the book, but it doesn't really matter. That's also one of several books that Stephen King wrote that Stephen King has no memory of writing at all because he was so like drunk and high.
He's a genius.
He wrote that in like a week. Well, I mean, it's not a bad book. It's it's not like a classic or anything, but it's a pretty solid read. His Richard Bachman books are good.
He says our economy's doing just fine.
Stephen King.
500 million net worth.
I mean, it just sort of showed where Schwarzenegger's career was at the time. Like that, he's like, if you read the book, like his character would be nothing remotely like Arnold Schwarzenegger, and they're like, let's get Schwarzenegger for this. Stephen King's like, yes, give me the money, okay. Which is what he does literally every time. We're gonna make this, Stephen. Okay.
Well, he's gonna cash the check and then complain about it after the fact. Why don't you go do like a pound of cocaine and make a movie, Stephen? Okay.
I like how he's like, don't worry, I'll do Maximum Overdrive and prove that when we do movies my way, it's good. It's like Maximum Overdrive is one of the dumbest fucking things to exist. I'm glad it does, but I mean, I love how he was so like, again, high and drunk at the time. He's like, I'll show you how to do one of my movies right. I'll do it myself.
We made you. Cue the AC/DC.
Good stuff.
I do like that movie.
Anyway,
it's stupid as shit, but I love it.
Yeah, it's very stupid.
Watch a Boondock Saints now.
That's another one from '99 I like that people don't talk about, but I always liked it. I get it, it's a style over substance movie, but I enjoy the style. It's also a really funny character by Willem Dafoe. Willem Dafoe's that weird, effete gay detective. He's so funny in it. I like that movie. The sequel sucks, unfortunately, but
you know what I like, Cole? Pizza.
Yeah, it's great. I've got some pizza back there. It's not good pizza.
What kind?
It's just some sort of frozen pizza. It's not even the kind I wanted to buy. They were out of it, so I bought this as a substitute. But I got one piece of it left that I'm going to eat soon. It's not bad for frozen pizza. I mean, we don't have Delissio anymore. It's been phased out. Delicio's is the same thing as what DiGiorno is for you guys.
Oh, okay.
Can't get it in Canada anymore. It's been replaced by some shitty brand called Rustica's. It sucks. But I found a new brand that I liked, and I went to not my close grocery store, but the further grocery store. I walked in the snow, and they didn't have the pizza I wanted. So I bought this one I've never heard of. It's not bad. Not a bad replacement.
Why do they take like established brands and just name them something else when they go to Canada? Like, why not call it
I don't know if they
DiGiorno?
do that all the time. I have no idea.
I mean,
I don't
it
think
just
it's something
seems-
that happens a lot.
Yeah, it seems like an odd choice because
I mean, I can't think of
it's
too many examples.
Le DiGiorno.
The main thing that changes is sometimes our cereals have different names. That's all I
Shreddy.
can think of. But that's more because the Americans change it than us. Like, Sugar Crisp was always Sugar Crisp, but I guess they thought, again, this is America, we're fat. Sugar Crisp will sound too fat, so we'll call it Golden Crisp. So you guys have Golden Crisp, but it's actually Sugar Crisp.
We got Golden
They're like,
Grams. I don't know what you're talking
We
about.
can't put sugar right in the title, for Christ's sake. We're trying to sell this shit to kids. And we've all seen that shift, right? Like from the
Cookie
90s,
Crisp.
where all it was
Cookie
yeah,
Crisp.
sugary cereals and like Happy Meals and stuff. And then you get to the 21st century, it's like obesity, childhood obesity. It's like no more Ronald McDonald.
And it's
no
all
more this and that,
Morgan's sperm lock in his fucking fault. He's trying to
Feed
take
these fat fucks some apple slices.
Yeah, he's like, I'm eating McDonald's for every meal for about a month now, and I'm about to die. It's like, no shit, you fucking dumbass.
Yeah. Wasn't that like one of Michelle Obama's things?
Move
was
an
one of
hour
her
a day.
School
Getting
lunches was
kids,
her big thing.
getting kids to eat healthy. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, school lunches are all one good, but it was like, making try to kids eat healthy. Man, I had like the most unhealthy lunches ever at school in high school. Everything was so greasy and good. I ate pizza like 4 times a week in high school.
You know what I had in one of my, both high schools? They had Domino's pizza.
Yeah, that was in Colorado.
Yeah, Colorado. Yeah.
That's crazy. I've heard
It's
of
got
like
local, but it was
kids
good.
have Taco Bell in their schools and stuff now. It's like
They didn't have it. They would
crazy.
literally like deliver like 20 pies to the school, like 20 or 30 pizzas to the every lunch, every school day.
Those rich schools.
One was rich, and then the other one was like more country, but it wasn't in Denver though. It was like out on the outskirts. It was kind of weird.
They're like,
Denver's a pretty affluent place. There's a lot of wealthy people in
they
Denver.
give them some Papa John's.
Yep.
Never had that in my life. It's not in Canada.
You're not missing too much.
I'm sure I'm not. I've never been a big fan of, we've had pizza conversations for years, and I've always said I've never been a big fan of any of the
Look at
chains.
work
I'm attached to my local places. And that's one of the things that's annoying about living in Halifax. I've lived in Halifax for over 20 years now, and I don't really like any of the local places.
Okay,
One of the things I do every time I go to Sydney is I eat pizza a whole bunch so I can take advantage of it, because
But
once I get here, it's all gone.
Cool, enough bullshit. Okay, you're gonna have pizza
Okay.
with Lucy Lou. What topping do you have and why?
I don't change my topping regarding who I'm eating pizza with. I don't know. I usually just like extra cheese. It's like
raw
my main
fish.
go-to.
God damn it.
There's all kinds of toppings I like, but I mean, if there's one I go back to all the time, it's extra cheese.
Yellowfin.
I feel like most pizzas don't put enough cheese on normally. It's not even that I like extra. I just feel like they cheap out on the cheese on a lot of pizzas.
I asked for
Not
them to
everybody.
dump the whole bucket of cheese on there.
If you have to ask for extra cheese, they're not doing it right to begin with,
Yeah, and that's how I feel like I have to do with a lot of places around here.
You have to now because people are stingy with that. But if there's places on the pizza where you can just see sauce with no cheese on it, you've done it wrong.
And this is the first
Agreed.
inaugural episode of Movie Pizza Pocket Dimension.
Yeah, I'm gonna take us off air actually, because that's all I wanted to do for Payback. But we can continue the discussion later. But thank you, people, for tuning in. That was Payback. We blabbed through, but that was sort of the point. Like I said, I like the movie. I'm gonna watch it on my own to watch the stuff I missed. But I don't know. It was fun. We need an excuse to get together again. So good night. We'll see you all next time. Maybe for the Running Man. Peace out. Have a good one. Good night.